Hey guys, welcome back to Filter Coffee Football. Now we are discussing two really saucy results, to be very honest. I mean, one result was not expected at all, the other result was expected, and I'll leave you to decide which one was expected and which one wasn't. And before we actually dive in, I want you guys to subscribe to our channel, like, share, comment, whatever you think about this, and follow us on our Instagram at Filter Coffee Footy. So, without further ado, I want to kick off the first result, that is Brighton securing a win at home against a Leicester side. This was unexpected for me. Was unexpected for you, I hope so. Go on.
Yeah, I mean, Manchester United versus West Ham was at the same time, so I picked to watch that one. So I only got to see the highlights of this match. But safe to say, I was not expecting this result at all. And Leicester must be very disappointed. Lots of things just didn't seem to go their way. The penalty decision against Leicester was quite contentious. Of course, Maupay did amazing putting it away. And I mean, no complaints on the second goal. That was just a fabulous ball in, and Danny Welbeck, amazing.
Throwback to 2016. Throwback to 2016. It was the
uh,
exact. It was a very similar goal.
it was a very good strike. Just no complaints on that one. But then Leicester made their way back with guess who else? So Jimmy Vardy. But they were so unlucky with two disallowed goals after that. One of which I do believe was fairly chalked off. But the second one, again, the header coming in, the player was on an offside position, but he clearly wasn't involved in the play. He was standing behind the keeper, so I don't know whether he was really even blocking the keeper's view. Maybe it's one of those things where just having somebody in your periphery influences how you're going to move your body. But it didn't seem like a very obvious obstruction of play to me. So very unlucky that Leicester couldn't even come out with a draw in that match. I mean, Brighton played well from what I saw, but they didn't offer too much going forward, and which is not unexpected because you're playing against a Leicester side which is very efficient on the ball, great talent on the pitch, except for one player who was hauled off again at halftime. Madison. These are clear signs that Madison is probably heading out of the club. Um, and as an Arsenal fan, I hope we don't bid for him at this point because he clearly seems to be undergoing some sort of an issue, just not hitting any sort of form, despite being given a fair chunk of game time as well. So that's the situation to keep your eyes on. But yeah, what were your thoughts on the result?
I thought the referees took more attention than the result, which again should not be the case. The penalty decision in itself, I mean, after you've gone for a VAR review, you can clearly see that Mope held on to Westergaard's hand quite a lot, not allowing him to jump properly, and then it's his arm, it's in an unnatural position. But you have to see the cause as well, right? I think the referees missed that, and Mope, obviously, he rifles it and leaving no chance for Schmeichel to save that. Credit to him for that. But again, he was the culprit, to be very honest. That shouldn't have been a penalty. That's what I feel. But maybe the referees don't feel so. And then you had two very odd offside calls. One of which, as you pointed out, was right. The other, again, the referees come into the spotlight. So this is what I feel like. The referees, in the right sense of the word, are not doing it right, are not doing their jobs right, even with VAR. Why are we talking about this day in, day out? Which is something that I don't understand. This was the same issue last season. It's becoming an issue this season too. So there has to be some sort of advocacy or some group that at least maintains a check on this.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, again, still, I don't think Brighton are going to complain about this at all. Fourth in the league table, and still early doors, just 5 matches in. But they have had some decent. I mean, they had an easy start, but just to win those matches, and Leicester is probably the toughest opponent that they have faced so far. But I think just winning your opening matches in this fashion, definitely not going to be struggling for relegation, I
I'll
believe.
put
Like
that into context here. I mean, the commentator mentioned that Brighton took half a season to register 3 wins in last season. Now they've done like 3 wins in like what, 5 games?
four
Four
wins in
wins in
five
five
games.
games.
Yes. So definitely not going to be struggling for relegation this time around. And yeah, and they still don't even have Lamptey back into the squad. So they're only going to get better as the season goes along. And given a strong finish, they'll probably invest much better in the squad next year as well. So this Brighton side is really going strength for strength. But yeah, going on to the second result, which I mean, we had to cover this. Really, really tasty, juicy result to watch for us as Arsenal fans. Tottenham slumped to a 3-0 loss against Chelsea. Chelsea looking ever so much as the absolute front runners for the title race. But yeah, I mean, Tottenham did have their moments in the first half. They weren't doing great, but they were actually keeping Chelsea side pegged back quite a bit. What was your takeaway for this match?
I expected this result. I mean, I expected Chelsea to take Tottenham to the cleaners, which they did. I thought maybe Lukaku would score a goal or two, but goals came from like different players, which I didn't expect either. With this first team, I really feel they have stopped producing attacking intent at all. I didn't see any form of attacking intent. I understand they are up against a Chelsea side that have been rampant for the last 4 games, but come on, it's a derby. You have to turn up to these games. I mean, your fans are into, right? And it's a home game for you guys, and you don't turn up like this. Might as well not turn up at all if that was the case. This side felt like you have all the players, but nobody's intending to play for the badge.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, Harry Kane again, 5 games into the season, not a single goal, not a single assist. To his credit, his slowest start in the league since I don't know how long. And we have another video coming up later on talking about why we think Harry Kane is struggling. So please go ahead and watch that. But like you said, they looked good in the first half, in where they actually met Chelsea in the midfield and were actually winning most of those midfield battles, but very little productivity beyond that. They didn't really make the most of those that advantage. And Thomas Tuchel, second match in a row, making a substitution, a midfield substitution at halftime because he sees something is wrong. Again, just masterclass on his part to kind of see those changes, see issues with the team, and fix them instead of waiting too long into the match to kind of do something about it. And lo and behold, they came across second half, started out with a free kick, started out with a corner with a goal. And Golo Kante, the substitute coming on, getting a goal through a very lucky deflection, and then Antonio Rudiger of all people capping it off with a 3-0 at the end. I mean, the second half was more of what I expected the entire match to look like. But Tottenham did surprise me initially. It's just sad that they just look very inflexible at this point, Tottenham. Whereas Chelsea, everybody seems on board. I mean, Mason Mount having to come off at halftime, I'm pretty sure he must have felt bad about it, but Tuchel has just generated such a good, strong team spirit where this Chelsea team just looks unstoppable. It's like the goals will come, they just have so much faith. And even when Romelu Lukaku is not scoring a single goal or even contributing to a single goal, they still manage to come away with 3 goals with a little bit of luck, a little bit of bad defending. But I mean, that's what gets you to be champions, right? Determination with a sprinkling of a little bit of luck in there. Tuchel believes that their side has still not hit its best form yet, and
Being humble, being way too humble
I
now.
mean, he's preparing for a long campaign, which is really impressive to see. So I don't see how Chelsea don't win the league this season. They have just been so good. Um, and yeah, what's your takeaway on Tottenham versus Arsenal now going into next weekend? Because that's the fixture that we are the most excited for at this point.
I think they'll turn up next game. They're definitely going to turn up next game because it is bloodbath. It is bloodbath if they don't. And it is the right kind of momentum that you don't want your opposition to have, because when somebody's under the cosh, somebody's been pushed down for a while, they tend to fight back way too hard. You could probably see that next week. I don't know how that is going to turn up. Arsenal are coming off of 2 wins after 3 successive losses after a very bad start to their campaign. So it's like both sides are riding different waves, and one or the other has to like go. I wouldn't really enjoy if it was just a stalemate. That's not really a result that I'm looking forward to. I hope it's a victory for us. I don't know about you.
There was that interesting point, right? At this point, if Arsenal beat Tottenham Hotspurs 2-0, we overtake them in the league table. So essentially, everybody downing the whole system on Arsenal, where 3 matches in, they're like, oh, this is a doom and gloom season. And on the flip side, everybody being like, oh, Nuno is so amazing because Tottenham are 3 for 3, unbeaten, no goals conceded, top of the table. This is going to be an amazing season. It just takes that much to flip the entire script, and that's the
That is
Premier
the
League.
Premier League.
Yep.
That is the Premier League.
So definitely still early doors in. So no, it's hard to make conclusions. Although, like I said, I still feel Chelsea's going to go ahead and win this league. But yeah, super hyped for next weekend. Arsenal versus Tottenham. That's going to be an amazing match. I see us winning that one. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us again today. And please leave your thoughts in the comment section below. And like, share, subscribe. Also follow us on Instagram at FilterCoffeeFooty. And yeah, we will see you again soon.
Soon. Bye bye.